Make sure to check out my video about functions in Python and how to create your own function. Hello everyone, this is Texent and let's continue with this Python tutorial. When you are writing complex projects, you definitely write thousands of lines of code. So it is better to break down this code into parts. So by using functions that are located in separate files, it will make it easier for you to read and modify your code. But to use the functions located in another file or in another module, you need to import them. So I wrote a function which is greet. It takes two parameters, name and last name, and it simply says or prints hello, name of the user, and his last name. So if I wanted to import this function or use it in this file or module python2.py, how should I do it? Well, I could use the import keyword. So I could say import and then I mention the file name. So my file name is Python. Right now I could use whatever is in my Python file, which means this file over here. I only have the greet function, so I could use it inside of this python2.py file because I've imported this module. So let me prove it to you. If I say python dot, you could see we have this greet function which I created over here. That means we could use it in this file. So greet, it takes two parameters, let's say John, that's the name, and next it takes the last name, let's say Smith. I could store it in a variable and then print the variable, so print X. I'm gonna run my program. As you can see, we got hello John Smith, but we also got this non-value. So this non-value means there is no value at all, or null. And by default, every function in Python returns none. Unless, if I wrote instead of print here, I wrote return. So, let me just take off the parenthesis. So when I wrote return, it gave me hello John Smith without the non-value because the function greet actually returns a value. Now it could be frustrating always writing Python, it is a bit long. Instead I could use a nickname for it. And how? By using the as keyword, and I could mention the nickname, let's say py. So I could replace Python with py, and this is the same thing. Let's see. Well, it still prints for me hello John Smith. The as keyword is used to give a nickname to this file. Now let me create another function here. Let's say def by. This time it says by to the user, last name and name. I could say return, I will use a f string and say by name and last name. So it just says by to the user. Right now I could use the other function, which is the by function. So if I say py dot, you could see we have two functions, by and the greet. So I'll use by and I'll mention two parameters, also John Smith, and let me launch my program. We'll get hello John Smith for the greet function and by John Smith for the by function. I've created four functions in this python.py file. Right now let me import python.py into python2.py. So we know how, by using the import keyword and mention the file name. Of course we could mention a nickname for it. This time if I say py dot, you could see we have all the functions, sub, mul, add, and div. But the problem is that when you say import Python, that means you're importing everything in the file. So let's say I only want to use the add function, and I only want to import this function alone. How to do that? Let me delete everything. I could use the from keyword, so I'll write from and mention the file name, so I'll say Python, that's the file name, and then I'm gonna say import. And if you say import with the asterisk sign, that means you're importing all the functions that are inside of this module or file. So I don't want that, I just want to import the add function. So I'll say add. Right now I could only use this function because I imported it. So if I say print add, and it takes two parameters, 5 let's say and 4, I'll launch my program and we should get 9. Let's see what will happen if I try to use the sub function. So I'll say sub. You see Python didn't recognize it because I didn't actually import it. So how to do it? Well, I could mention a comma and then say sub. Right now, I am actually importing two functions from this module, which are add and sub. Of course, I could give them a nickname, let's say as A, let's say, and here as S. There's no need to, they are actually short words. So here I could say S, mention two parameters, 5 and 4, we should get 1. Right now let's import built-in modules or libraries by Python developers themselves. So we could say import, and they have this random library, so let us use it. If I say random dot, you could see all the functions available in this random library. The most common one are randint, which stands for random integer. As you can see, it takes two parameters, a and b. Both of them are int. So if I say 1 and 10, that means I'm telling this randint function to generate a random integer from 1 to 10. So if I print this random integer function, let me run my program. I got 6 as a random number. I will rerun it, I got 9. Also, we have the other function, which is called choice. So what choice does is it chooses from, let's say, a list. Let's say I'll declare a list here, and I'll tell this choice function to choose anything from the list. So choice. So as you can see, this choice function takes a sequence. Sequence are strings, list, and tuples in Python. So I'll mention my list, and it will choose anything from the list. So it chose number 1. I'll rerun it. This time it chose number 4. What we could do is say from random import choice, let's say, as C. Let's say I have this str Python, let's say, and I'll print C, that means choice, the choice function, str1. Let's see what Python will choose. It shows the capital P of Python. I'll rerun it. It shows O. Alright, this is it about importing functions from modules. Thank you so much for watching today's video. This is Texan, and I'll see you in the next one.